Hi everybody, Steve Griffiths here, developer of the MTPredictor software program. In this video I'd like to take a look at how the US E-minis unfolded yesterday, which was Monday, July the 9th. In particular, I'd like to have a look at the YM. We can see here some standard trade setups for the new MTPredictor customers. We suggest using the STF colour as an indication of the large degree trend direction. So for this there was a DP buy here, but this was against a red STF, therefore a downtrend, so you'd avoid that. There was a trade here as indicated by our history triangle. That was a valid trade for new traders because it was on a red STF. If we put the analysis on, you can see that this trade would have actually resulted in a -1R loss. Remember, we use position sizing to keep our losses small and under control. Market then came down here. STF was blue, so you could take buy as well as sell setups. If we put the analysis on, you can see the market here went up to the first target very nicely indeed, where a plus 5.7R profit was available. Again, position sizing kept the risk small and under control. In this case, trading 11 contracts where I think it was 8 before, and that's the beauty of position sizing, in that when you're right, the profits are large. In this case, 5.7 times the initial risk. But when you're wrong, it keeps the losses small. In this case, -1R. So here you be -1R, and then on the second trade here, you'll be plus 5.7R. So a good trade, a good day for the standard MTPredictor customers overall. However, let's now up this a gear and use the large degree time frame, which is the 15-minute chart in this case, which is what we teach for our more advanced MTPredictor customers. So if I go to the 15-minute chart, remember we put our DPs on the charts before the market even gets there, and this is what we were showing in our trading webinar live yesterday. And in fact, we had our decision point, which was here, on our chart in advance. I'll just put a little rectangle around that. Where are we? Rectangle, so that can come down onto the shorter time frame. In fact, I'll just make this a bit bigger. There we go. That'll be a bit easier to get that the right size. So there's our DP support zone coming in there. We also had a support zone on the ES, which was the main one we were following yesterday, and that again we talked about in our trading webinar at the time. But the point being is that this support zone was on the chart in advance. We had it there before the market even got there, and that's the great thing about these DPs, is they are leading indicators, so they're there in advance. So let's see how that would have changed your trading on the 3-minute chart. Well, instantly you can see, I'll just pull that across a bit. Oops. Instantly you can see that this decision point automatic trade setup, which again was on our 3-minute chart, even though it was against our STF colour, was actually now at our 15-minute support, which is our zone we've just placed on the chart. Therefore, advanced traders among you could have taken this trade because it was now with a larger degree uptrend. So can you see what I did there? I projected this larger degree support zone on the 15-minute chart, which then helped define our larger degree trend direction to down, reversing at this level to now being up. So therefore, not only could you take this long trade here off this low, but also you'd have avoided this sell trade here, this short trade here, because this was against what now is a new uptrend, and also this TS4 buy setup you'd have also taken and had extra confidence in, because again this was also in the direction of the new uptrend. So here we were buying off this automatic DP setup here, which actually had you long off the very low of the day, which is a very nice situation to be in. The market was just a tick short of this first target, so this is where following multiple time frames would have come in handy. Because if you'd swapped to the 5-minute chart, you can see at this point in time we were having a TS4 sell setup. Now, as I've just said, this would have been against the large degree uptrend, but what this would have allowed you to do, because literally we're only a one tick away from our target, the sensible thing to do would have been to adjust your trade management strategy to trail just below your bar lows, literally, because you're only a tick away. So in this case, you'd had a nice long trade off what was the low of the day up into this level here for a plus 3.8R. So instantly you can see how the more advanced traders among you can make use of the large degree trend to not only take trades that would have otherwise been unavailable to the newer MTPredictor traders, but also would have helped avoid a losing trade here, and it had also given you confidence in this TS4 later on in the day. So overall it was a very good day for the advanced traders among you, in that you would have been long off the low here, and then also had a very nice long trade on this TS4 buy setup as the market came up there. And again, this is not doing this in hindsight, because at the time we were saying that even though the YM was at our 15-minute DP support zone here earlier in the day, we said that the ES, the markets weren't probably going to rally quite yet, because the ES hadn't reached its 15-minute support zone. And the ES, as we call it, is the boss. In other words, it has the higher volume. So if I go to the 15-minute chart of the ES, you can see what we did. We had our DP off here, and we said this was the level that the market should go to before all markets were like to rally, and you can see that's what it did. It actually tagged that low, or the DP low, at that particular point in time there, which actually corresponds to the DP buy setup here at the second attempt on the YM. So it was really nice the way the two markets came together excuse me, in at this low here. Not only were you at 15-minute support on the YM, but you were also at 15-minute support on the ES, which is the main the main market. So that's why this was oops, sorry about that, moving that around. That's why this was a good trade to take, because it came in at large degree support not only on the same market, the YM, but also the one that we call the boss, which is the one with the highest volume on the ES. So hopefully this has been a very good video to show you how we can use our 15-minute DP zones to project in advance larger degree support and resistance zones, and then how we can use our automatic trade setups that fall in the direction of those larger degree and new trends. And that again enabled you to have a very nice long trade off what was the low of the day there, and also a nice TS4 buy setup to take advantage as the market rallied almost into the close there late in the day. So a good day for not only the standard MTPredictor traders, but particularly for the more advanced traders among you who now know how to use the large degree trend to help in your shorter term trading.